Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This week we are getting generator set up. We're going to do all the wiring, get as many gauges as we can on there, and then of course set the throttle up so we can have just a good time driving this thing around. So it's going to be quite a bit of work. I've got some wiring diagrams to go through. I've got to see if I can use the factory generator or I have the stock Farmall generator. I'm leaning towards Farmall, so we'll see. But yeah, other than that, not much else to talk about, so let's get after it. Okay, so you can automatically see we have a taller cylinder and then also a wider diameter on the Farmall versus, the smaller Ford style. This says made in England. I'll have to do some research on the brand. I'm assuming it was just Ford making them, but we'll see. Other issue, pulley location. Obviously I could mount this on there, but the problem would be getting the pulley set back here. You can see that this is a little bit farther forward on the case versus this is flush. So we gotta make a decision on that. And I really think that based on this, I'm gonna try to just use the Ford generator with the Farmall regulator. So I'll have to figure out how I'm going to attach it. Obviously the Farmall generator, it just mounts to the case. There are no holes on this case, so we may have to make some or just remotely locate this and ground it and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up, this cleaned up. We're going to set this generator aside, and I will work on getting the wiring complete on these and see if maybe we can get some voltage out of the regulator. All right, new day in the shop and nice day outside, so it's a good day to be in here. Let me update you on where I'm at right now. So I've got a new generator belt. I pulled the generator apart, cleaned all the brushes out. Everything looks decent in there, but I'm no generator expert, so we will see. Got to clean these connections, and then I'm going to rough in all the wiring. And once I get it wired, we'll see what happens. Now, being that this is a 3-wire regulator, I think there's some sort of cutoff in the light switch box. I'm not going to worry about it right now. I've just got to make sure that this is going to work and start charging the battery. And then I can either install a manual cutoff or whatever. But we're just going to see if this generator functions like this, and I think the odds are looking pretty good, so I'll get it wired and we'll see what happens. Like I said, I don't have a cutoff switch, so I will have to get that figured out eventually and just keep an eye on it that we don't overcharge it, assuming this works. But everything's hooked up. All the contacts are clean. I have 6 volts supplied to the regulator. So I am going to check battery voltage and then we'll fire it up and see if it starts climbing. Okay, so our current voltage prior to starting is 6.348. 6.34. Which once I crank it's going to go down, but we'll start it and then we'll watch the numbers and see if they go up. Slowly, but it's climbing. It's a new day in the shop. We are trying to get this charging system wrapped up. I went ahead, the voltage with the key on was 6.25 when I came out today, and I ran it, and within 5 minutes it was 6.35. So, you know, it is climbing. I'm not sure if that's the actual charging rate it's supposed to be. I'm going to do some research, but it is gaining voltage, so you know, I can't see that it's, you know, losing voltage, so I'm assuming it's charging. But if you guys have any information on that, you can leave me a comment, and I'm going to go ahead and clean up this wiring. Thing's a little loud. So yeah, I'm gonna get this wiring cleaned up and just go ahead and move on while I think about this charging system. So I'm gonna get all this nest tied up nice and neat, and then we're gonna install the temp gauge. This is a aftermarket. They sell these at Harbor Freight. It does work. So what I'm gonna do is it comes with what would normally screw into the intake manifold of a car or truck. So I'm going to drain the water out, and then what's going to happen is I'm basically going to cut a hole, and then we'll weld this in, make sure it's all sealed up, and then we can screw you know, the sensor into it, and then we'll be able to measure the temperature. So with that being said, let's get after it. right, guys, so we have the temperature unit. We welded to the water pipe. I've got it thread taped, tightened down, and then I just sort of wire tied the excess there. She's plugged in, so everything's sealed back up. We got clamps top and bottom. Our drain plug is back in, so all that's really left is to fill water and make sure that we don't have any leaks. So I'll probably put a couple gallons in, and yeah, we'll just fill it up and see what happens. Alright, so after that drive, it sounded pretty good, ran good. This was our ending temperature, being that it was going uphill, half-ish throttle, consistently right about 200. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'm not 100% on what it's supposed to run. Again, there's no thermostat. We have a pretty big radiator, and the fan, the factory Ford fan, being that it's not super close to the shroud here, doesn't do a whole lot. So I will probably end up changing this fan, maybe just put an electric one on or something, but I think ideally I can somehow adapt the stock Farmall, and then we'll tuck it into the radiator a little more. And I think that will be more ideal. You can see this distance here. It's basically just going to be pulling air from here and then pushing it back. So we really need it to pull through the radiator. And that's like 4 gallons-ish in the whole system. So it did take a minute to heat it up to 200. So I'm going to do a little research on that. Just add that to the research list, but that'll be it for that section. What we're going to do last is throttle. Right now, we can hop on, start it, drive it, but I have been setting the throttle via the idle screw. So we're going to get a throttle made up, and then we'll be able to hop on and go, have full controls from the seat, and that, yeah, it'll be complete at that point. So from then on, we can, pull something, do like a road drive or something like that, do some testing. So yeah, we'll get started on the, there's Windsor. We'll get started on the throttle, get that finished up, and then she'll be pretty much complete. Okay, so I'm going to use the factory Farmall throttle linkage, and I went ahead and I built basically a support brace going from the rear here to the fan shroud area, and it's pretty solid. So I think I'm going to basically build a pivot bracket off of it, and so obviously this section will pull back, pivot, and it'll pick up the bottom, and then we'll make a different bracket here, but basically we just want it to be able to pick up. So I think it's plenty doable, and yeah, I'll keep thinking on it, but one little thing at a time. But yeah, we're getting close. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this pretty good. So we've got our bracing cross member, and then I have a bracket to mount the pivot arm, and then that is connected directly to our throttle linkage back up top. I'm gonna climb up there and give it a little actuation. So this will be full. So right now it's idle, and then forward we'll go full throttle there. So we have a good 2 inches of travel, which I think is plenty. And I think that we'll be able to get a rod connected pretty easy, so works good. I'm happy with that. Could probably tighten it up a little bit, but we'll leave it like that for now. And we'll get started on the linkage. Just gonna be a piece of rod. I'm gonna rebuild this arm here to be a little different setup where we can slip the rod through like up here, and then it'll be connected and we'll try it out. So you can see the new linkage. What I did was, this has one of these ball mounts where it would clip on for a cable, but I just wrapped this steel around and tacked it so it can pivot. I'll just oil that up, it'll be okay. And then we've got just a rod with a hook. Obviously you can do a cotter pin, but that'll be fine, it won't come out that way. So yeah, full setup. Let's see if we can get some action out of it. Okay, you should be able to see everything. So right now we're at idle, and then we'll go to full throttle. Perfect. Which usually when I'm driving this, I don't use anything over a quarter really, so you know, this little bit of movement here is perfect. So I don't notice any binding, anything like that. But we're gonna oil all the joints, and then we'll take it for a spin. So what I'm gonna do, I know this works. So what we're gonna do, throw the hood on, and basically we're just gonna hop on it from the seat, start it up, throttle it. Yeah, we'll drive it like normal. Okay, here we go. Ignition's on. Yeah, we should just be able to start it. How cool is that? Have a working throttle, starts from the seat. There's a couple wiring things left to do, clean up, things like that, but I won't bore you with that. Maybe I'll take it for a little spin. guys, that was a successful day, successful drive. Sounds really good when it's pulling up the road. Hopefully you can hear it good in the clips. Put the best ones in I can. Super excited about this. Basically I can get on and go now and not have to mess around with setting the throttle linkage or any of that. There is a slight water leak from my hose. It's just one of the old ones that's cracked, so I'll fix that. I won't waste any of your guys' time fixing that. So totally cool, really excited. Remember, please leave me a comment if there's anything you noticed that I should change, I missed, any helpful tips. Happy to listen. I'll always respond, and I appreciate everybody tuning into this video. That'll probably be it for the farm mall. We'll probably, we'll move on to it from it for a little while. I have other little projects to start on, so that's cool. We got that going. If there's anything else you guys would like to add, leave it in the comments, and yeah, I'll check it out there. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. Remember to hit that subscribe button. We're almost to 1,000. That's pretty crazy. I'm so thankful for everybody that's subscribed. And I'll keep the content coming every week. So that being said, we'll see you on the next one.